We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Imagine vanishing in the middle of the night, your home suddenly silent, your devices mysteriously offline, and no one knowing where you are. That's what happened to 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. From hacked security cameras to a mysterious backpack, a 200-mile phone ping, and a nationwide manhunt, this case is like nothing investigators have ever seen. It was a normal family evening. Nancy Guthrie spent time with relatives at a home in Tucson. Nothing out of the ordinary. Laughter, dinner, the usual family chatter. Around 9:45 p.m., a family member drove her home. The garage door opens, then closes. Nancy is safely inside. That's the last confirmed moment anyone saw her. And then, the timeline goes dark. But her devices start talking, and what they reveal is chilling. Investigators discovered that Nancy's Nest security camera went offline about 40 minutes before her pacemaker disconnected from her phone at around 2:30 a.m. on February 1st. Let that sink in. First the camera, then the pacemaker, in the dead of night. This isn't a coincidence. This is a carefully planned sequence. Someone knew exactly what they were doing. Adding to the alarm, an unusual antenna-like device was seen in the pocket of the person captured on Nancy's doorbell camera. Could it have been a signal jammer, cutting off all communication in the area? That's exactly what investigators are considering. This wasn't random. This was deliberate. Then comes the footage that almost never saw the light of day. Nancy's Google Nest doorbell camera, initially thought to have recorded nothing because the cloud account wasn't active, was recovered using specialized FBI digital forensics. What they found? A masked individual approaching Nancy's front door at 1:47 a.m. The FBI describes him as about 5'9", medium build, wearing a ski mask, gloves, long pants, and a jacket, carrying a 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack. That's right, a backpack sold exclusively at Walmart. Investigators are tracking its origin because somewhere, someone bought that backpack, and somewhere a receipt exists. Every detail, every device, every step. It's as if the night itself is telling a story of planning, precision, and danger. And then, the moment that changed everything, the detail that sent the FBI scrambling across state lines. At roughly 6 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's phone pinged a cell tower 200 miles away from Tucson. Let that sink in. Investigators immediately realized someone, or at least her phone, had traveled a huge distance in the middle of the night. Do the math. Things went dark at her home around 2 a.m. By 6 a.m., the phone is 200 miles away. That's roughly 4 hours, enough time to drive non-stop at highway speed through the Arizona desert. No stops, no delays, straight through the night, moving with purpose. Officials haven't said which scenario they think is most likely, but one thing is clear. Nancy was no longer in Tucson, and suddenly a local missing person case exploded into something far bigger. Here's where things get almost science fiction level. The FBI didn't just track her phone, they went after her pacemaker. Authorities deployed a signal sniffer mounted on a helicopter, flying low over Tucson neighborhoods, attempting to detect the faint signal coming from Nancy's pacemaker. This wasn't your average tech. An FBI source told News Nation the device is sophisticated FBI technology, small enough to attach to a helicopter skid, but powerful enough to detect a signal that barely travels a few feet. Former FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell explained that a pacemaker emits a very short-range alert, meaning investigators have to be almost on top of it to pick it up. That's why the FBI literally put technology in the air, scanning neighborhoods inch by inch for one woman's life-saving device. And the fact they did tells you just how serious this investigation is, because this isn't just about a missing person anymore. Every signal, every ping, every clue is now part of a race against time. While investigators were tracking Nancy Guthrie's digital trail across hundreds of miles, another team was combing through the physical evidence at her home.
And what they found made one thing brutally clear. This was no voluntary disappearance. Drops of blood on the front porch confirmed it. That was the moment authorities realized Nancy hadn't walked away. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos made it clear at a news conference the crime scene had unmistakable clues showing she did not leave on her own. Then came the gloves. 2 black gloves were recovered about 2 miles from her home and immediately sent for DNA analysis. Early results seemed promising. An FBI official told NewsNation that one of the gloves appears to match the gloves of the suspect in the surveillance video. A breakthrough, right? But then, a dead end. The DNA from the gloves didn't belong to the masked suspect. Instead, it matched a local restaurant worker with no connection to the case. Investigators were left puzzled. Were the gloves contaminated? Had they been handled by more than one person over time? Either way, the trail went cold. Yet the investigation didn't stop there. DNA expert Cece Moore said she would go back and re-swab parts of the house, looking for even the tiniest clue, a single rootless hair. Because in today's world of genetic genealogy, that one cell could crack the case. Think of it like the same technology that caught the Golden State Killer decades after his crimes. If a scrap of DNA exists in Nancy's home, authorities can trace it to a family match in public genealogy databases and work backward to a name. And while scientists were chasing microscopic clues inside the house, law enforcement was following something else: a car.
A vehicle was spotted on a Ring camera about 2.5 miles away from Nancy's home, speeding past a neighbor's property at 2:36 a.m. That's just 50 minutes after the masked man was caught on her doorbell camera. Police confirm they are actively reviewing surveillance video of cars in the area, but they're looking at hundreds of thousands of vehicles that were on the road that night. Hundreds of thousands of vehicles, and one of them might hold the key to what really happened to Nancy Guthrie. Now things take an even stranger turn. Investigators believe Nancy Guthrie was abducted, but the case isn't just about a missing person anymore. It's about money, technology, and possible connections to a larger criminal network. Why? Because at least one message, possibly from her kidnappers, demanded Bitcoin. That's right, cryptocurrency, not a bag of cash under a bridge. Whoever took Nancy wanted untraceable digital currency, something modern, high-tech, and almost impossible to track. TMZ even received messages from a person claiming to know who the kidnapper is. But here's the kicker. That individual demanded a $100,000 Bitcoin payment just for the information. Suddenly, the investigation wasn't just about finding Nancy. It was a maze of ransom notes, false leads, and people exploiting the chaos. The family, desperate for answers, had to sift through an overwhelming flood of noise. And then a possible connection emerged that made former FBI agents sit up straight. Hours before Nancy disappeared, a pair of suspects were arrested in a Scottsdale home invasion case. That robbery wasn't random. The motive? $66 million in cryptocurrency. Police reports indicate the defendants got their information from individuals known only as Red and 8, communicating through the Signal app. Think about that timing. Arrests made just hours before Nancy vanished. Could her kidnapping have been part of a larger coordinated network, a crew targeting wealthy, specific individuals across Arizona for digital currency? Investigators aren't ruling anything out. Sheriff Chris Nanos has been clear. This was targeted, and the suspect could strike again. He warned the public it would be foolish to assume they're safe just because they weren't the target this time. The motive? The sheriff seems to know it, but he isn't telling. Not yet, because the investigation is still live, and revealing too much could blow the case wide open. The scale of this investigation is almost unprecedented for a missing person case in recent years. The FBI isn't just reviewing a few security camera clips. They're analyzing thousands of hours of video footage, roughly 10,000 hours in total. That's over a year of footage being reviewed frame by frame, every detail scrutinized. Meanwhile, the Pima County Sheriff's Department has been inundated with tips. Nearly 18,000 calls to the tip line so far, with more than 4,000 calls in just 24 hours at one point. This isn't a local investigation anymore.
4 detectives and a sergeant from the sheriff's office have been assigned to a joint FBI task force working directly out of the FBI's Tucson office. The feds are no longer advising from the sidelines. They are running the case, and they're taking action. Late in the investigation, officers blocked access to a neighborhood roughly 2 miles from Nancy's home. A convoy of sheriff and FBI vehicles, including forensic units, entered the area. Whatever they were looking for, they were looking hard. The search is not just on the ground. The FBI has posted billboards featuring Nancy's face and a phone number across Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and California, because after that 200-mile ping, investigators know she could be anywhere in the Southwest. The family isn't waiting silently either. They're offering $1 million for information leading to Nancy's recovery and an additional $200,000 reward for anything that could lead to the arrest or conviction of those responsible. That's over $1.2 million on the table, waiting for someone to come forward. A former FBI agent explained how cases like this usually break. Somebody comes forward who knows him, a girlfriend who's had enough, a family member who finds a moral compass, or someone who just wants that $1.2 million. It's rarely the cameras, rarely the DNA. Most of the time, the breakthrough comes from someone close to the suspect finally deciding the truth is worth more than loyalty. As of March 2026, Nancy Guthrie has been missing for over 6 weeks. The Pima County Sheriff's Department continues to comb through every piece of evidence, from lab results to images and videos captured by cameras, leaving no stone unturned. Sheriff Chris Nanos says investigators are definitely closer to identifying a suspect or suspects. A dedicated team from the homicide unit is working side by side with the FBI, operating under the assumption that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. That matters because it shapes how every lead, every tip, and every operation is handled. Nanos has also made it clear there's information being held back. There's so much that everybody wants to know, but I would be very negligent, irresponsible as a law enforcement leader to share that with everybody. We have information on this case that we think is going to hopefully lead us to solving this case, but it takes time. Why the secrecy? Because releasing details too early could compromise the investigation or tip off whoever has her. Even with tens of thousands of tips, authorities are concerned some people may be reluctant to come forward, afraid their identity will be exposed in such a high-profile case. If you know anything at all, you can submit a tip anonymously. The FBI has made that clear. Anyone with information is urged to contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or visit tips.fbi.gov. Every lead counts, every tip matters, and in cases like this, sometimes one small piece of information can change everything. Here's what most people watching this case from the outside don't fully understand. The science behind modern criminal investigations is extraordinary, and in Nancy Guthrie's case, law enforcement is using almost every tool imaginable. Let's start with DNA, because it's far more complicated than just they have DNA, they'll find the guy.
Sheriff Nanos explained that investigators are still grappling with mixed DNA found at the property. The mixture could come from several people, making it extremely difficult to extract a profile for a single suspect. Some of the DNA has been entered into the FBI's national database, but so far, no hits. No hits. That means whoever did this either has never been convicted of a felony in the US or has carefully avoided leaving a trace. Clean record or meticulous criminal. Either way, the door isn't open yet. That's where forensic genetic genealogy comes in, the same technique used to catch high-profile criminals like Brian Kohberger, who killed 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Here's the short version. Investigators upload crime scene DNA to public genealogy websites like GED Match. They identify distant relatives who voluntarily submitted their DNA, then build family trees branch by branch, narrowing the search until they pinpoint a person who matches the suspect profile. We'll be following this case closely as new developments come in, so if you want to stay up to date with every shocking twist, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell,
Don't miss a single update, because in a case like this, every second counts, and one small clue could change everything.